Hi, so today we're going to be looking at speed, distance, time. We'll look at 3 examples and then you can have a go at 3 questions yourself. So we've got a helicopter flies 240 miles in 2 hours 30 minutes. Calculate the average speed in miles per hour of the helicopter. So remember I taught you to use these speed, distance, time triangles. Got speed, distance, time, always have to go in those exact places. So what have we got here? 240 miles, it's a distance, right? Time, 2 hours, 30 minutes. We're working out the average speed. Let me just put everything in the correct place in the triangle. Speed is unknown. Distance is 240, so that needs to go at the top. Now, if you remember from a lesson that I've taught on this topic, when we have 2 hours, 30 minutes, we've got inconsistent units here. We need to have it all in hours. So let's divide this by 60. You can use your calculator if you like. Be 0.5. Add it to our 2 hours, we've got 2.5 hours. Okay, and what we're going to do, we've got in our speed distance time triangle, we've got one above the other. So remember, that means we need to do a division. So the speed equals 240 divided by 2.5. Which gives you an answer of 96 miles per hour. So that was for a missing speed. Let's look at this next example. Roger drives 2 hours 15 minutes at an average speed of 36 miles per hour. How far does Roger drive? So let me get my speed, distance, time triangle. Our 2 hours 15 minutes is the time. Our speed is 36 miles per hour. How far does Roger drive? So this time it's the distance that's unknown. So I'm going to leave my D at the top. Average speed goes bottom left-hand corner. Don't forget, we've got 2 hours, 15 minutes. We need to change this all into a decimal hour. 15 divided by 60 is 0.25. This is already in hours, isn't it? So 2 hours add 0.25 gives us 2.25. Now, what do we do when our numbers are next to each other in this speed, distance, time triangle? We multiply them. So our distance equals 36 times 2.25. Which gives you 81. Let's just look at our units here. It's miles per hour, it's a distance, so this has to be miles. So that's for a missing distance. Victoria walks 11 kilometres at a speed of 4 kilometres per hour. Calculate how long it takes Victoria. Give your answer in hours and minutes. So let's see what we have in this question. We've got our 11 kilometres, which is a distance. We've got our speed at 4 kilometres per hour. We want to know how long it takes. So what's the time? That's our unknown this time. So our distance has to go at the top. Our 4 kilometres per hour goes at the bottom. Got one above the other, so it's a divide. So 11 divided by 4 gives you the time. 11 divided by 4 is 2.75, but just let's be careful with this. What are the units? It's 2.75 hours. The question wants to have our answer in hours and minutes. So let's think, how do we convert between hours and minutes? If you look at your notes from this lesson, we times by 60. That'll give us the whole thing in minutes. So it's 165 minutes. So we know the 60 minutes in an hour, right? So 2 hours would take you to 120 minutes. And so we need to work out how many minutes are left over. So we've got 45 minutes left over. Oops. Okay, so what I'd like you to do now is have a look at these 3 questions. You can put me on pause and then I'll go through the answers after. Okay, hopefully you've finished these by now. I'll just talk you through them. So what are we working at here? We're working out the speed. Got a distance of 230 miles. So let's hopefully you remembered how to change this. So it's all in hours. We've got 4 hours. We divide this by 60. We get 0.25. So we've got 4.25 hours. One's above the other, so we divide. One decimal place, you should have 54.1 miles per hour. Okay, so we've got Danny leaves the house at 8 o'clock. She drives 63 miles to work. So that's our distance. She drives an average speed of 27 miles per hour. That's the speed. At what time does Danny arrive at work? Well, we need to know how long the journey takes first. So our 63 miles is here. Our speed is here. Our time is unknown. We need to divide them right to get the time. 63 divided by 27 is 2.3 recurring. What I'm going to do is I'm going to times my whole answer by 60. You just press times 60 on your calculator. It should times the whole thing by 60, which gives you 140 minutes. So this was in hours. We've converted it into minutes by times and by 60. So how many hours, how many minutes is that? Well, there's 60 minutes in an hour. 2 hours will take us to 120 minutes. And if we're on 120 minutes, we've just got 20 minutes left over. So it's 2 hours, 20 minutes. She sets off, she leaves the house at 8 o'clock. So we've got 9, 10, 10, 20. Okay, so here's our last question. This time, our unknown is the distance, because how far is it traveling? We've got our speed here, goes in the bottom left. Got our time here. Hopefully, if you converted this correctly to 4.5, because 30 divided by 60 is half an hour, 0.5. What's the distance? Our 2 knowns are at the bottom here, so we're multiplying. So the jumbo jet travels 2,178 miles. Okay, thanks for listening.